Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn Spring Framework. In the previous video, as I explained you, Spring Framework is used for developing Java-based applications. By using this framework, we can develop applications much faster, and also we can develop variety of applications, web application, REST applications, distributed applications, a lot of other applications that we can develop. So we are going to learn more about Spring Framework in upcoming classes. Spring Framework basically uses two things: inversion of control and dependency management. You may read through a lot of other pages, more details, but technically it will fall into two things. Inversion of control means having a control on a component or bean. Spring takes care of creating an object of a component or bean. It will execute the methods if you call, and it will create components and end the components. We are not going to create components at runtime. We are not going to destroy components at runtime. Like a garbage collector, but in the smarter way, Spring takes care of controlling components. And next thing is dependency management, which means if when we are running an application, when you start Spring application, in the application we may use database or backend services. As soon as Spring start application, it will load dependent objects. It will find the objects, dependent objects. It will load the objects and make it ready for us. That's called dependency lookup and injection. So as I said, inversion of control, which means it will find the components, it will find the beans and control the beans. When the beans are no longer needed, it will terminate the beans. So basically memory management it will do. Control the objects. We just need to take care of our business need. So as I said, dependency management, dependency lookup and dependency injection. Dependency lookup means in the small application we are dealing with a database, maybe MySQL. When you start the Spring Boot application, when you're starting, it will make sure that the database connection is established and it will be available for you. As well as it will create the basic configurations for you. So for the database connection, it will check for the dependent jars. How many jars are needed to connect the database? How many jars that we configured for the logger as well as a dependent logger. It will smartly check all the dependents that we need. So that will go with the dependency lookup, as well as it will add those dependent jars. We don't have to explicitly configure add those dependencies. Dependencies automatically it can find by using lookup. It will add those dependencies automatically by using dependency injection. So if you look at this diagram, IOC has two things: dependency injection and lookup. Dependency injection and lookup. Lookup will search how many dependent additional jars we need. It will get you the data, and injection will do, it will add those dependent jars. Suppose you say when your application you need ABC jars dependents. When you configure parent dependency, it will automatically add dependent jars backend for us. Now look into Spring modules. So Spring has some modules, and technically Spring divided into some modules, like what kind of application you are building, that kind of module that we can configure for our application. So if you want to develop Spring web-based application, we can go with Spring web module. No need to use another module. Typically, no need to add additional jars, just add required jars. So those jars, those modules are categorized. If you look at here, we have few modules here as I listed: core container, AOP, data, etc, etc. So when you're building a core basic application, maybe core container is enough. As well as for aspect oriented programming, you just need AOP module. When you're building a Spring based application which deals with database or batch processing messages, just go with data access. Or if you're developing a Spring web based applications, use Spring web module. For securities, use security. For the distributed development, use cloud. As well as we have testing module as well as integration module. I am going to explain detailed level for each of these modules in upcoming classes. Thank you.